Hello, everyone, and welcome into the Butt Fumble Sports Show on this Monday. I hope you're having a great Monday. I hope the start of the work week has been okay for you after what was a very interesting weekend of pro football. NFL Sunday Week 2 did not go the way that favorites thought or bettors went. Vegas did very well, but it was an odd weekend. We saw some upsets. We saw some teams that we were believers in all of a sudden, maybe not so much, and there were some teams that maybe we didn't believe in that resurrected hope for their season or are changing opinions. We are going to rant about what went on this week. We're going to rant about what happened. We're going to talk about what we saw in fantasy, what we got right, what we got wrong, what we're going to learn from the weekend. I never claim that I get everything right, so we take information as it comes in, we build consensus, we build a hypothesis, and then experiment against it throughout the course of the year and try to figure out what went right, what went wrong, what can we do better in the coming weeks. So let's break it down. This is almost like a Monday tape session, though we still have Monday Night Football to go through. We'll talk about the picks that I like for Falcons and Eagles. We'll talk about the fantasy implications. We'll talk about the player prop bets. But, of course, we'll also talk about the waiver wire because there are a ton of injuries, and we've now entered that part of the season in which we're out of love with our starting lineups. We are now looking at the girls on waiver wire Tinder, looking for who we should pick up or who should we go out with in the coming days because many people need a running back, myself included. I was a big believer in Isaiah Pacheco this year. He's going on the IR. He has a broken leg, and he's going to be replaced. Rumor is the Chiefs are already talking to Kareem Hunt, so already some movement there. Samaje Perine was already in the building, so maybe some of you guys are interested in that. We're going to talk about what we saw, some fantasy performances, who disappointed, who came through. For all Alvin Kamara owners, I want to apologize. I did not see the Dallas Cowboys being that bad. Alvin Kamara with one of the great fantasy performances of all time, and I was completely oblivious to it. Did not see it coming. A shocker for me. Beyond that, the Dallas Cowboys have some issues. Yeah, they won week 1, but maybe that's more of a statement about the Cleveland Browns than it really is about the Dallas Cowboys. We'll talk about that game. Baltimore Ravens. Are we panicking yet? You get Derrick Henry, you don't use him, you have a lead against the Raiders at home, and you fail to win. Cowboys, Ravens, they play in week 3 in what is a must-win for the Ravens, and for the Cowboys becomes a much more significant game now that, depending on how the Eagles do tonight. New York Giants are going to New York Giant. That's the way things are going to be. The Carolina Panthers are going to Carolina Panther. But the big news, Daniel Jones, I'm assuming, is still the quarterback for the Giants. But the Carolina Panthers, they've got a new QB. Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton, the Horned Frog from a million years ago, is now the starting quarterback of the Carolina Panthers. A change there. Bryce Young, I want to apologize. I want to apologize for you being put in an impossible situation. There's no way that the Carolina Panthers properly prepared you either from a technical standpoint, a coaching standpoint, or from a personnel standpoint to succeed. But that said, Bryce Young does go on the list of greatest busts of all time. I hate to do that to the kid. I'm sure he's very nice. But if we made fun of Jamarcus Russell, and if we say Jamarcus Russell belongs on that great bust of all time list, Bryce Young does as well. So whether you're a Bama fan, whether you're a Carolina Panther fan, or whether you just have two eyes and you watch football, Bryce Young, massive bust. He's been benched, and he deserves to be. On the other side, we still haven't seen Drake May, and maybe Patriot fans are starting to talk about that because Jacoby Brissett threw for almost no yards in that second half yesterday, but somehow the Patriots still stay in the game. Seahawks get the win in overtime. Are the Seahawks good? Question mark. Are the Seahawks good? And in the NFC West, that gets interesting all of a sudden. We have some surprising teams at the top of their divisions. The Pittsburgh Steelers, 2-0 atop the AFC North. The Seattle Seahawks, 2-0 atop the NFC West. Who saw that coming? The Minnesota Vikings, 2-0 on top of the NFC North. We've got some surprising teams all of a sudden plowing their way to the top of the standings. We'll talk about that as well. What an amazing day of football. What did you guys think of the 10-team window? I didn't really go crazy for it. I actually would have been okay with our 8-game window and then those 2 games pushed to 4 o'clock, but maybe that's just me. Appreciate you guys being with us. Those are some of the early takes. We're going to talk a lot of football. We'll talk a lot of things, so don't worry. We'll get to your takes. Are we done with Travis Kelce? No. Especially with Pacheco being out, Travis Kelce's value is going to rebound. Bryce, I'm going to have to first priority and lost Pacheco. What do I do? Honestly, it's kind of interesting. I would try to find the Chiefs running back, but I don't know who that is right now, whether it's Hunt or Samaje Perine. I just look on the waiver wire for, honestly, who's the best available, because running back, we talk about it so frequently. This is why you want to overload on that position. It's really hard to replace a starter when they go down. Crazy week of action. Sorry for all the sports bettors out there. One last note. When I put together my picks in my newsletter every single week, I usually have a couple lock-in underdogs. And this week I didn't. And I was like, man, a lot of favorites. And I thought to myself, either it's going to be a great week for the public or it's going to be a bad week for the public. It was a bad week for the public. It was a bad week for me. I bet on the favorites. I thought the Cowboys were going to win. I thought the Ravens were going to win. I thought the 49ers were going to win. So I'm so sorry for those that tailed, for those that faded. Good job, but I'm not the only one taking a bath today. The public really got hurt. Are the Vikings good? You know what the Vikings have that they didn't have last year? They have a defense. Vikings, I don't know if they're good yet. I still don't know if the Vikings are good. They beat a good team. I don't know if they're good because, frankly, 49ers played very poor offense. Brock Purdy may be one of the worst games of his career. But that said, Vikings defense looks for real. And we said last year they were so bad defensively that if somehow they could develop a defense, they would at least be competitive. Well, welcome to being competitive. On the other hand, I also want to take my foot out of my mouth. Yo, Sam Darnold. What's up, dude? Sam Darnold's balling. Sam Darnold looks for real, and I want to give him a lot of credit because from the moment he said on live television, on national television, unknowingly, I'm seeing ghosts out there, his career just took a nosedive. The Patriots took his soul when he was with the Jets. It took him years to recover, and now we're seeing what so many of the coaches were saying behind the scenes. You give Sam Darnold a good offensive line in front of him, you give him some time and let him do what he can, he's a serviceable quarterback. We've seen that in the past. We've seen it now with other quarterbacks, like a Geno Smith. Maybe there's something in common there, like the New York Jets being awful in the past. So Sam Darnold looks good. The Vikings defense looks good. I'm not willing to anoint them legit yet, but beating the 49ers is a big deal. Diego, I did see that stat that the 49ers haven't won at Minnesota since 1992. Pretty crazy. Should I trade Pittman for Shaheed? It's an interesting question. I think you're trading a wide receiver 1 for a wide receiver 2. I'm still not going to overreact to how bad the Colts look right now. Anthony Richardson is still working out kinks. I actually think the Packers' defense is better than people think, especially their pass defense. I think their run defense is more vulnerable. I think their pass defense is really good. So that said, I'm not going to overreact yet. But Shaheed right now, his value is insane because those long touchdown passes that we talk about every week, he seems to be doing that 2 or 3 times a week. Should I trade Andrews for Laporta? 100%. If you can get Laporta right now, I'd buy low on Laporta. I think Laporta's value is going to rocket ship over the next few weeks, so I'm very high on him. I had Kyler Murray, James Cook, Marvin Harrison Jr., DK. You crushed it, Diego. You crushed it. By the way, for everyone who is concerned about Marvin Harrison Jr., yep, got that one right. Don't worry about that kid because he is a boss. He is built for this. Literally, genetically built to handle this. He's going to be a stud. Dylan, I'm cooked, man. McCaffrey and now Cup. It's a brutal couple of days, but this is what you get when you watch football. It's funny. We get all excited throughout July and August for the start of the season. Did we forget that injuries were going to happen? This is how it goes. So we'll bounce back. Drewski, should I have Tyreek and so I have Tyreek and Waddle? Should I be worried? Yes. I didn't want to be overloaded on the two of them before. Now I really don't want to be overloaded on the two of them. Only have one. I'd trade one of them for sure. Saquon over 18.5 rushing attempts. Let's do some betting research for everybody. Let me pull up my screen. Let's do some sports betting research for everybody. Appreciate you guys coming to the show. First things first, right now the spread is 5.5 points for tonight's game. The money is coming down on the Eagles, both on the money line and on the spread. Public tickets, they're leaning a little bit more towards the Falcons, but the money's coming down on the Eagles, also coming down on the under rather. So Eagles on the spread, Eagles on the money line, and the under. That's where the money's coming down. Not necessarily where the public's betting, but where the money's coming down. Let's get to that player prop bet. We were talking about Saquon Barkley. We're going to do some quick research for Gilby. Gilby was asking about 18.5 rushing attempts. I screwed myself up here. Here it is, 18.5 rushing attempts. Falcons were terrible against the run. 27th. It's hard to say because he's only played one game with the Eagles, but he went 24. I like the over on this, and here's why. No A.J. Brown. I think they utilize him more. I do think that could be in the running game. He had 24 carries in week 1 against the Packers, and that's with A.J. Brown. So I like Saquon Barkley to go over this total. I think he does reach 20 carries overall, because just like last week, I think they're going to feed him. I'd also be really high on his rushing plus receiving yards. I think there's a lot of opportunity for Saquon. Here's a good one. Saquon Barkley receiving yards. It opened at 16.5. It's now up to 17.5, 18.5. He's gone over this in 4 of his last 5 games, regardless of the team he's played on. He went over this total in week 1 against the Packers. I see Saquon being more a part of the passing game than he has been in the past. I'll actually throw this one up on the big board for everyone. I'm going to take Saquon Barkley over 18.5 receiving yards. I like the play. Again, this is a bit of a shot in the dark play because you don't know too much about him with the Eagles. He's only played 1 game there. You don't know if necessarily scheme's going to change or strategy's going to change. But that said, I do like the over rushing attempts, Gilby, but I like this over 18.5 receiving yards. Feels like a nice play with A.J. Brown being out. They'll probably use some extra screens. Maybe even put him out in the wide receiver position sometimes just to get another quality receiver out there in the flat. Diego, I also had Coleman. Diego, you're doing a great job, bud. Isaiah, Amon-Ra, and Laporta, a good stack. I'm not big on season-long fantasy leagues. I'm not big on stacking players both in the receiving game. If you want to stack players, stack one from the passing game, one from the running game. Stack a running back and a quarterback, a running back and a wide receiver, a running back and a tight end. When you stack players from the both players from the passing game, you're praying every week is a Kyler Murray, Marvin Harrison Jr. week 2. But sometimes it's a week 1, and that can really set you back. Dotson or Mooney tonight? I'm going to lean actually slightly towards Mooney, believe it or not. I don't think Dotson's going to play a big enough role in the offense where I think Mooney actually, he becomes a bigger role. Mooney's a wide receiver 2. Dotson's really a wide receiver 3. Again, I think it kind of elevates Saquon almost in times. Gilby, what do you think about Bijan under? I'm going to keep moving to the fantasy questions, Gilby. I'll get back to that in a bit. Robbie, I have Kyron, Cook, Henry, Hall, and Dobbins, and no clue what 3 to start for next week. We'll talk about that in a couple days. We have a couple days to figure that out. I want to know who's in the lineup. I want to know about the matchups a little bit more. CL need 9.5 from Pitts in London. Rooting for you, buddy. Devontae Smith on receiving. Are we talking receiving yards for Devontae Smith? Let's go take a look at that one for Edwin. We're going to take a look at that player prop bet. By the way, we do have promos going with almost all the major sports books. Hit the link in my bio. It takes you to my link tree. Take advantage of those promos. Let's look at Devontae Smith. And Devontae Smith, you're asking about receiving yards. I can just step in. And then receiving yards. It's set at 74.5. Pretty strong across the board. He's hit it in 6 of his last 10 games, including week 1 as well. That said, at home, this has been a good play. 6 of his last 9, including the playoffs. This opened at 63.5. Tells you that that opening market was a really favorable one. It's now at 74.5. I just want to see games he's played without A.J. Brown. Cool thing about Outlier, we can look at that. Man, has he never played a home game without A.J. Brown? That's kind of crazy. That can't be. No, he has. He played one last year. He had 148 yards. I like him to go over the 74.5. I'd buy it down a little bit. I'd go over 59.5 for Devontae Smith. AJ Terrell is a good corner, though. I do acknowledge that this is a tough one, but I think Jalen Hurts force feeds them a little bit. That's why I lean towards it. Not going to put it up on the big board, but still a play that I like. Appreciate you guys being with us. Is Jordan Mason a good pickup? Absolutely. Absolutely. Romeo, I have McCaffrey and Pacheco, but was able to pick up Mason off waivers. What should I do about Pacheco? What's tough is you now have 2 players on IR. You can't keep both of them, I would assume, in your league. I'd probably move on from Pacheco, believe it or not, because his injury, you're going to get a better sense of when he's coming back, so you can actually predict picking him up off the waiver wire a little bit better. McCaffrey, you don't quite know when they're going to decide he's going to be good to go, so it'll be better to keep him in hand. That said, Pacheco, replacing him is going to be really tricky. Right now, I think we're all going to have to reevaluate things. Do we like Kareem Hunt if they sign him? Do we like Samaje Perine? I'd certainly go out and get Perine right now, but that doesn't mean that he's going to end up being the RB1 for the Chiefs long term. Don't know Juan. I did Neighbors and Pacheco for Etienne and Jamison Williams. I mean, I like it because you're moving on for Pacheco at a great time, and I like the promise I'm seeing from Jamison. Jared Goff is targeting him almost maybe too much, but Neighbors had a monster game, so don't know Juan. I think it's a good trade for you. Devontae Smith or Drake London PPR already have Goddard. I'm gonna kind of do a trick on this one. Devontae Smith, 74.5 receiving yards. Drake London, his is set at 60.5. He's playing the worst defense, though. I'm gonna say Devontae Smith. I know you're doubled up on the Eagles, but it's a. You know what? I take it back. Drake London's got the better matchup. I'll stick to what I normally believe. Drake London's the better play because of matchup. It's a tough call, though. I think that actually is a very tough one. Bob, trade Rachaad White and likely for Garrett Wilson. Yes, I would. Yes, I would. Mario, we all know it's Butt Fumble Sports. Mrs. Lady, think London will give me at least 8 points tonight? I think he will. If you're in a PPR league, yes. If you're not in a PPR league, no. I'll say that. Kyle B6, Andrews for Kelsey and Javonte Williams, 100%. I would do the trade if I'm getting Kelsey and Williams. David Montgomery for Worthy, great question. The answer for me is probably still no. I value Montgomery more, though Worthy's value went up. Ramteen, best replacement for Pacheco. I think we're still figuring that out. Right now it's Samaje Perine, at least for Kansas City's offense. We still got things to figure out. Daddy Alex, thoughts on Caleb Williams' performance last night? I feel bad for Caleb Williams. I feel bad a little bit, and here's why. I actually think we overrated the Chicago Bears offensive line, and right now they are not performing to the level that they need to. Houston Texans D-line might be really good. Let's actually say that first. The Houston Texans defense is a really good defense. But last night, they made the Bears' offensive line look bad. which makes Caleb Williams do things that he shouldn't. And the problem with Caleb Williams, and this will be a problem his entire career, is that he was raised and baptized and praised for the scramble moves. He won a Heisman for those out-of-pocket, magician-like moves. He did not win a Heisman for staying in the pocket and being a very technically sound quarterback. So, when he panics or when things go wrong, he's going to revert back to what he knows. Unfortunately, that lends itself to really bad football. Just ask Will Levis. Really bad football. So I think Caleb Williams needs to continue to learn and develop some more traditional quarterback habits. I think the Houston Texans defense is really good, and the Bears offensive line needs to continue to get better. But I'm not going to throw Caleb Williams out with the bathwater. I think the Bears stole a win in week 1, and that will turn out to be a critical win in their season because it at least kept the pressure off a little bit. Because let's be honest, Caleb Williams isn't ready yet. He's just not. In some ways, Jaden Daniels is more ready because Jaden Daniels, he actually doesn't make the same kind of Brett Favre ridiculous out-of-pocket plays. He's either in the pocket or he's scrambling for a first down. Caleb Williams, he'll be just back there. He'll be doing, 8 drills just on his own. So Caleb Williams needs to develop a little bit more. He needs to get some more maturity about how he thinks about each play. Weird analog there. Blue picks for NFL. Weird analogy there. What was the weird analogy? Blue team picks for NFL games tonight. Only one game tonight. I will give out my picks though. I'll give out the picks right now. I am going to take the Eagles on the money line. Eagles on the money line. I will also take them at -2.5. I know it's at 5.5 right now. I'll buy it down. Eagles on the money line. Eagles -2.5. And I'll also take the under Falcons, Eagles, and I'm just going to lean towards the under on this one. I'll lean towards the under 48.5, 49.5. So I'm doing a same game parlay. Eagles money line under 49.5. I'm hoping it doesn't get to 50. That's kind of what I'm banking on. So if we're talking about Chiefs running backs, Samaje Perine. Samaje Perine is next man up, but it sounds like Kareem Hunt could also be in the mix. Louis, Allen drop Moss or Justice Hill. I drop Moss. Oscar, I need 25. Louis, I'd still drop Moss, actually. Oscar, I need 25 from Bijan in PPR. Can I win? Sure you can. I'm rooting for you. Dom, do I even start Chase anymore? I think it's very dependent on the matchups. Really quick, let me pull up who they play next week. Sorry, I haven't looked at week 3 with the same level of intensity yet. Week 3, Cincinnati is playing Washington. I think Chase bounces back against the Washington Commanders, so I'll believe in Chase actually for week 3. Drizzy, trade Diggs and Brian Thomas for Rice. No. Giving up way too much. Shakir picking up JSN good. I think JSN really performed well last week. I think it continued to, but I actually think Shakir is a better own. Dylan, J.K. Dobbins or Stevenson rest of season. I think it's very dependent on week-to-week matchup, but for the moment, I lean towards Dobbins just because I think the Patriots' offense and offensive line isn't as good. Nicholas, start Burrow or Carr for week 3. The New Orleans Saints in week 3 play the Eagles, and Cincinnati plays Washington. For the moment, I'm actually thinking that we should lean towards Burrow, but at this point, you got to start Carr. He's been the hottest quarterback in the NFL. Edwin, what should we do with Garrett Wilson? I believe in him. He has a tough matchup again on Thursday night against Christian Gonzalez, but I'm not gonna throw guys out. If I believed in them, if I drafted them, it takes a lot for me to move on from somebody, and if I do, it's always a trade. Dom, JT or Dobbins, season long, JT. Next week, JT. The Colts play the Bears. Meanwhile, Dobbins, he plays the Steelers. Let's take some calls, everybody. Let's take some calls. Let's go to George. Let's go to George on the line. Let's see what George wants to talk about. George, what's good?
Just had a question about my team. I got Josh Allen and Murray as my quarterbacks. I wanted to trade one of them to upgrade at tight end, and I'm wondering, you think if I do keep Murray, if he's going to be healthy all year, or if I should, I know I could get more for Josh Allen, but I'm worried about Murray staying healthy all year.
I mean, I wish I could tell you I had a crystal ball that I could look into that allowed me to read the future, but let's be fair, if I did, I wouldn't be here with you. I would be banking money on all the bets I'd be winning. So I don't know if he's going to stay healthy or not. Here's what I'll say. I think Josh Allen at this point is the Bills' offense when it's not James Cook. I think Kyler Murray is the Arizona Cardinals offense when it's not James Conner. So which offense would you rather buy into? I actually think it's a bit of a trick question. I'd actually rather buy into Arizona's offense because I think Marvin Harrison Jr. is the best receiver on either team. I think Trey McBride and Dalton Kincaid are about a wash. And I think James Cook is showing you that he can be elite, which is only going to take rushing yards and rushing touchdowns away from Josh Allen. I actually think last Thursday was a major statement about what the Bills are going to be because Josh Allen didn't have a rushing touchdown and James Cook had 3. So it tells me a lot. I actually think Kyler Murray's the better own. That said, you're in a great position to trade because both are going to have really high trade value right now. Josh Allen in name, Kyler Murray off the performance he just had. So now's a great time to trade either one of them. I would probably keep Kyler Murray. Sounds crazy, but again, to your point, I think the return you could get from Allen makes him a better trade piece.
You think he'll have a big week against the Jags this week, and should I wait till then to do it, or should I try to do it now?
Well, I think you're absolutely right. I think he's going to have a good week against Jacksonville. I have them beating Jacksonville. There's actually a trend that I have up here. I'll even pull it up so I can share with everybody, where the Buffalo Bills have been insanely good when they're a home favorite and they have more rest than their opponent. So I'm of that same mind. But actually, let me really check really quick who Arizona plays. Arizona plays Detroit. I've seen Detroit's defense now get torched by 2 quarterbacks, have pretty good games against them. I think Kyler could be a good play next week, so I wouldn't be too quick. Actually, I might move on from Josh Allen this week. I'd be okay with it. Again, maybe because the player you want, you'll need for this week.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks for the advice. I'll let you know next week probably.
George, feel free to hit me up anytime. Have a good one, bud.
You too.
By the way, here's that stat I was talking about. When Josh Allen plays in a game, when he has more rest than his opponent and he's a home favorite, the Bills are 9-1. Bills are 9-1 straight up when Josh Allen plays with more rest than his opponent as a home favorite. The only loss came to the New England Patriots. Surprise, surprise, came to the New England Patriots. That was, I believe, that bizarre cold weather game. I'm pretty sure that's the one. But that said, I definitely have to stand by the Bills on the money line for this week. So I put that out there now. Hopefully the favorites deliver a little bit. Let's go to Daddy Alex. Let's see what Daddy Alex wants to talk about today. What's good, Daddy Alex?
Hey, man. You can hear me, right?
Yes, I can.
All right, perfect. So I'm in a 28-point league. It's PPR, and my opponent has Kyle Pitts and Devontae Smith. Do you think I lose that?
I don't know. To be fair, I hate answering questions like that because it doesn't even matter whether I say yes or no. It's as I like to call it, it's a validation question. And I'm all for you guys asking questions that I can be helpful, but validation questions, those are ones that require like a stroke on the hand and some milk and cookies. Like, I'm sorry, and the reason I was quick to move on from that one is if you guys have validation questions, which is, I have this player, I need this number of points, do you think it's going to happen? There's nothing I can do, but I can just like, I'm rooting for you, I hope, but there's nothing I can do. If you have a question about who to start, who to sit, who to play, who to pick up off the waiver wire, who to make a trade for, these are things that I can help you with. But if it's a validation question, I'm sorry, but not much I can do. Anyways, let's get to another question. I used to catch fish is going to come up next. I used to catch fish. Spinning wheel of death right now on I used to catch fish. I don't think you got a good connection. I used to catch fish because this happened to us multiple times. So you need a better connection. Sorry, bud. Gonna move on. Let's go to our next caller. Let's go to Dylan. Dylan, what's good?
My guy, what is up?
How you living?
Man, I'm honestly hurting. Just like I said, I've got, with Cup going down now, I have 2 hurt players. I still have McCaffrey on my IR. Cup's down. I'm trying to figure out I'm number 7 in my waiver wire pickup this week. I'm hoping, I was going to get your feels on this. Do I go after Quentin Johnson for the Chargers, or do I try to go after another Rams wide receiver?
I heard a great comment yesterday that's Harbaugh is such a good coach that Quentin Johnston can now catch. And I thought that was like perfect because it is like, oh my God, Quentin Johnston learned how to actually do his job. Literally learned how to do his job. That said, I hate the matchup he has this week. He goes up against the Pittsburgh Steelers this week, so I really don't like him. He actually has a couple tough matchups in a row. He faces the Steelers, he faces the Chiefs, then he's on a bye week, and then he faces the Denver Broncos. So I'm actually not too high on Quentin Johnston. I think he had his big game. I think probably a lot of fantasy football folks out there on social media will tout him as someone to pick up off the waiver wire. But actually, I think he might have had his best game of the year, at least his best game for the next month. I don't think I'd go after him. There might be some other options.
Okay. Do you happen to have any sleepers in mind that I could probably pick up as a number 7 in a waiver pick?
The answer is I probably will tomorrow. I'm going to wait. I always like to wait until tonight to see how things shuffle out because you learn about injuries and you learn about other things. So the answer is I will. Do I have too many right now? Obviously, I'm kind of keeping my eye on JSN. If he's available in your league, he really just popped. If people got stupid about Malik Neighbors, I think that's obviously one. But I'm very high on him. That said, he's got a tough matchup this week. Rashid Shaheed, we talked about him last week. I would stay high on him. Other receivers to keep an eye on. Jacoby Myers. The Raiders play the Carolina Panthers this week. Jacoby Myers could have a really good game. Keep your eye on him. I'm going to keep... I'd love to see Jerry Jeudy pop against the Giants, but that's just a side note. Jacoby Myers definitely one I'd consider. Anyways, that's a name that comes to mind.
Okay, I may see what's left available tomorrow afternoon when you get on and pick your brain.
Please do.
Because, like I said, I don't know who all is going to be left by the time it gets down to me for waiver pickup. So I'll keep in touch.
We'll do the best we can for you, Dylan. Talk to you soon.
Yes, sir.
Let's get another caller up on the line. Let's go to JB from Texas. Let's see what JB be talking about from Texas. Hopefully he's having a good day. JB, what's good?
Yeah, what's up, man?
How can I help you?
Got 2 questions for you. Do you think I should get rid of Patrick Mahomes, or the 2 matchups weren't favorable for him, or should I hold on to him?
Okay, couple of things on Patrick Mahomes. One, let's not overreact. He faced 2 teams that know him well. I don't think the Ravens and the Bengals are necessarily good defenses, so I understand why there was a bit of a reason to be concerned. But those are 2 teams that know the Chiefs and know him really well. Here's what I'd also say. If there's no Pacheco, means Patrick Mahomes is going to have to literally take the load and put it on his shoulders. Because without that running game, it becomes so much more reliant on the passing game. And the one good thing for the Chiefs is they hit on Xavier Worthy. That kid's real. Rashee Rice, they hit on that draft pick. He, a couple of years ago, he's real. Travis Kelce will bounce back. So I think actually their offense swings back to more of a passing game. So I wouldn't give up on him too quick. I still think there's value there. They play Atlanta in Atlanta next Sunday night. Let's see how the Falcons defense performs tonight. But I think the Chiefs, I think they're going to be okay. Do I think you want a second quarterback to maybe swap in for some weeks where you don't like Mahomes? Sure. but I still believe in Patrick Mahomes and keeping him as a starter most weeks.
Gotcha. Next question, Calvin Ridley. He just had a great week. You think I should sell on him, or is he going to keep performing?
Okay, here's the thing. He had a monster performance, and I got him very wrong yesterday. What I really got wrong is, how did he burn Sauce Gardner? And he really did. He burned him. So that surprised me. That said, it is a great time to sell on him. He's playing Green Bay next week. Again, he faces Jair Alexander, top corner. He then faces Miami in Miami. Maybe Jalen Ramsey isn't quite that elite, but still I would consider him a top 6, top 7 corner. And then he's on a bye week. So he loses, Ridley loses value really for the next 3 weeks. His value is definitely going to come back later in the year. So I don't necessarily want to say, like, if you can trade and upgrade positions and you can get, some really good players back for him, I'd go for it. But if you end up holding on to him, it's not a terrible thing either. The one concern I have is Will Levis is an idiot, and that at times will infringe upon Calvin Ridley's success.
Gotcha. Well, I appreciate it, brother.
Have a great day.
You too, man.
I know that was a long answer. I was trying to give him all I could. Let's go to Sonny. Sonny's going to be our Sonny dropped on us. Sorry about that. Let's go to who's next on the line? I hit Giovanni. What's up, Giovanni?
Hey, what's up, man? Hey, quick question. Do you think Anthony Richardson's too risky moving forward?
Too risky as a fantasy owner or too risky as a player overall?
Yeah, as a fantasy owner, because, if he doesn't score a rushing touchdown or Cap throws a bomb, he really is not completing enough and getting enough production, in my opinion.
Oh, no, you're totally right, and that's the gamble you're going to make every week. And the problem is he's got some tough defenses coming up. The Colts play the Bears this week, then the Steelers. They play Jacksonville after that in Jacksonville. I really feel like it's not until week 6 where I really like his value to come back all the way. So I personally would still hold on to him. I put him on the bench for weeks I don't like him and swap someone else in, just because I don't know if you're going to get someone off the waiver wire who's going to be that good and that consistent. So you're just going to have to kind of play him in a rotation.
All right, yeah, that's kind of where I was at with them. I appreciate it.
Have a good one, Giovanni. Let's go to our next caller. It's going to be NAR. NAR is going to be next on the line. Let's see what NAR wants to talk about. NAR, what's good? NAR, what's good?
So I'm up 16, right? How you doing? I'm up 16 in PPR. He has Bijan Robinson left. I still have Goddard or Pitts. Who do I start?
Who does he have?
He has Bijan Robinson. He has Bijan.
Yeah, I'm thinking. I'd still say Kyle Pitts. I'm going to go Kyle Pitts. I know Goddard's going to get more opportunities with no A.J. Brown, but I'll still go Kyle Pitts.
All right, thank you. That's all I need to know, man.
Have a good one. Let's go to Sonny. Let's see if Sonny can jump on the line this time. Next caller up. Sonny, what's good?
Hi, how are you?
I'm killing it. How can I help you? You got to stay on TikTok, Sonny. The moment you go off TikTok, it mutes you, so I can't hear you.
Okay, my team's all good, but my only concern is 2 players. Tank Dell, he's not been performing, and I have Nico Collins already. So thoughts on that? Should I keep him? Should I trade him?
Okay, so here's my only concern. If Diggs or Collins gets hurt, Tank Dell's value goes through the roof, and the idea that all 3 receivers stay healthy the entire year doesn't feel like that's going to happen. But that said, I never wanted Dell this year. I thought that he was going to be the third mouth to eat in that offense behind Diggs and Nico Collins. So I'm okay moving on from him if you have Collins, because Collins is, to me, wide receiver 1 on that team.
And I also have another concern. ETN's just not been, I don't know how he's going to be. And his matchups are tough.
So Jacksonville next week plays Buffalo in Buffalo. Then they play at Houston. Yeah, a couple of tough matchups. They have 2 games in London in the 6th and the 7th weeks. I was never high on ETM, and I'm not saying that to like say, oh, I got it right and you got it wrong. It's more to say this is what I was concerned about. I don't trust Jacksonville's offense enough, and he's just not reliable enough. Now, if he gets a touchdown like he did yesterday, okay, he may deliver for that week, but he ends up being a wide receiver too, and a questionable one at that way too often. I don't know if I can move on from him right now, though, because so many other fantasy owners, they're desperate for a running back right now. So if you have depth and you can trade them, that's wonderful, because there are plenty of owners who really need a running back if they had Christian McCaffrey or if they had Pacheco. Like, you could definitely get a good return for him. But if I had him, I'd probably hold on to him even if I don't love his matchups, because right now running backs are dropping like flies.
Okay, thank you.
Have a good one, Sonny.
Okay.
Sometimes we got to hold on to players we don't want to just because we really can't predict the future. And so the player that we don't value this week, we may really value next week when someone else gets hurt, when some other situation arises. So I want to make sure you guys don't overreact. We talk after week 1. Don't overreact to week 1. Well, each week is their own individual week. It's its own individual drama. It's a mini series all into itself. And what happened in week 2 may not play itself out in week 3. We may go, oh, Travis Etienne, can't stand him, I need to trade him. Well, all of a sudden, if things change, if Tank Bigsby gets hurt, or all of a sudden if that Jacksonville offense opens up, or maybe some more running backs get hurt, all of a sudden he may look better in the grand scheme. So don't overreact, and if you're going to move on from a player, make sure you're getting the proper return value. Don't move on from a player too quickly. Is Amari Cooper a bum? Amari Cooper's not a bum. Deshaun Watson is a bum. Deshaun Watson's a bum. He's a bum. He's a bum. Deshaun Watson's a loser. I know they won yesterday. He's a bum. I don't use that lightly. I think a bum should only be given to those that have really earned that designation, that 1920s, stick it on the newspaper headline, you're a bum. Amari Cooper's not a bum. Deshaun Watson is a bum. Let's go to David. Let's see what David wants to talk about. David's going to be next on the line. David, what's good?
Yo, man. Okay, so 2 questions. I have Tank Dell, and obviously he's coming off 2 pretty poor weeks. So do you think I should trade him or hold on to him?
Do you have any other members of the Houston Texans offense?
I do not.
Who are your other wide receivers?
Right now I have Puka Nacua, but he's on IR.
Yep.
I have George Pickens. I have who else do I have? I don't remember my other wide receivers.
Here's what I would say. I get the vibe because of Puka Nacua's injury that you don't have the depth there that you really want to. I don't know if you can move on from him, because when you trade him, you're probably not going to get a better wide receiver in exchange unless you give up him and somebody else. So if you're able to package him and another player, another tight end, another running back, maybe you can upgrade a wide receiver, but it's kind of hard to trade wide receiver for wide receiver 1-for-1 and feel like you got the better of it. So because you're lacking a depth, you may need to end up holding on to him just because there may not be better options out there that you can go get.
Okay, and then I have Saquon Barkley, Brian Robinson Jr., I just picked up J.K. Dobbins, and I have Tony Pollard, so I have a lot of depth at running back. Should I try and trade a couple of those guys away for some depth at wide receiver?
Yeah, I actually would do that. I probably would try to trade Tank Dell and Tony Pollard and try to combo those for an upgrade at the wide receiver position.
Okay. That's it, man. Thank you.
Awesome. Have a great day, David. Let's get to our next caller. I'm gonna get his name wrong again. Hey, what's good?
Hey, how you doing?
How you living?
Doing good. I just had a question. I'm trying to look for an upgrade at my running back 2 position, and I'm trying to sell high on Calvin Ridley. So I'm trying to offer this guy Calvin Ridley and Devin Singletary for Dobbins and Xavier Legette. Should I do that? Do you think that's a good trade?
Well, I think the Xavier Legette part is like the ultimate throw-in. I mean, he has no value right now. So you're just doing it so you can get J.K. Dobbins?
Yeah, pretty much.
See, I'm not crazy about that because J.K. Dobbins' value is going to come down. He just faced 2 defenses that he could run against. He faces the Steelers this week, then he faces the Chiefs, then he's on a bye week. I don't think you're getting enough back.
Okay.
If that Xavier Legette was a better player, maybe I would think. But I don't know. If it's just J.K. Dobbins on his own, what are you giving up again?
Giving up Calvin Ridley and Devin Singletary.
Yeah, you're not getting enough back. You're not getting enough back. He would be getting the better of that trade.
Okay, got it. And who do you like at flex better for like the next couple weeks or like the rest of the season maybe? Do you like Brian Thomas better or do you like Calvin Ridley better? Because I really don't like Will Levis throwing to Calvin Ridley.
You were going to take the words out of my mouth. Couple of things. Brian Thomas Jr. is popping right now. Like, he is just popping off the tape. He is phenomenally talented. His matchups over the next few weeks are Buffalo, Houston, Indiana, Indianapolis, Chicago, New England. There are a couple of games in there I like him, but either way, I almost like the fact that Christian Kirk may draw the number 1 corner, and meanwhile Brian Thomas Jr. may be under the radar. And then to your point, Tennessee, they play Green Bay, they play Washington, they're on a bye, they play the Colts, they play the Bills. Overall, I actually think Ridley probably has the greater season-long value, but if you wanted to move on from him, I actually think it's a good move because his value is so high right now coming off that Week 2 performance.
All right, thank you. I'll try to package him for Dobbins and some other player.
I think it's a smart move. Good job, bud.
All right, thank you.
Talk soon. Let's go to our next caller. Our next caller is going to be Austin. Let's see what Austin wants to talk about. Austin, what's good?
What's up, buddy? How are you?
Oh, loving life. How can I help you?
Well, all the injuries kind of screwed me up this past weekend.
Welcome to the club.
Yeah, I know. So I literally only got saved by my running backs this past weekend, but what I'm going to ask of you is I'm starting to freak out a little bit because I have Cooper Kupp. He is my WR1. He's probably gone for a little bit. And then I had Christian Kirk, which he did absolutely shit this past weekend. And then I had Michael Pittman Jr., who only put up 5 points. So the only wide receiver that helped me out this past weekend was JSN.
But I'm not. But I could have told. I'm not surprised by any of that. One was playing the Browns, tough matchup. One was playing the Packers, tough matchup. I'm not shocked.
Okay, so don't overreact is what you're saying?
Okay, I'm concerned about Michael Pittman Jr. That I'm concerned about. That one's starting to become an alarm because he's not making any plays. Like, he's doing nothing right now. Alec Pierce looks better right now. So that is reason for me to be concerned about him, yes.
Okay. It was more so, I mean, my main question was to ask of you, do I get rid of, or not get rid of, but do I start Geno Smith this coming week instead of Anthony Richardson?
I probably would say yes, and the reason I say that is I still believe in the Bears' defense. I still think the Bears' defense is better than the Miami defense as of right now. I just saw Miami's defense get torched, so I'm going to believe a little bit. By the way, Geno just threw for 300 yards against the Patriots defense that was pretty good. So, I would say I probably like Miami a little bit more. I also am aware of the fact, of Seattle a little bit more, rather. I am also aware, though, that Kenneth Walker III was out yesterday. That obviously drives up Geno's stats, and if he comes back next week, may not be quite the same, but for the moment, I am leaning in that direction because I don't like what I'm seeing from Richardson. I don't like what I'm seeing from the Colts in general.
Agreed. I'm not too flattered by it whatsoever, but in this situation with one that I'm kind of in with, I really don't have any wide receivers at all. Do I try and sell high on Achane, or would that just be stupid with the wide receivers? Because I don't have any wide receivers basically at this moment in time.
So what I would say is don't create a hole in an effort to fill a hole. I'd keep Achan right now. He's too valuable. I wouldn't give him up, even if I had depth at that position, because at this point you can't have enough running backs with injuries coming or injuries occurring. So I still think you can find wide receivers. I think every single week we collectively can find a Rashid Shaheed from yesterday who has a touchdown, a big game, and you can find him. Every week there's a guy that no one's thinking of who has a big game at the wide receiver position. Much harder to do that at running back. Much harder. So what I would say is keep the running back you know has value, and we can search for wide receivers each week. Is that tedious? Is it challenging? Yes. But I think that's a better strategy than trading Achan and creating issues at running back, and then over the course of the year being like, oh, damn, look back on that and regret it.
Right. So in this last question, I'll let somebody else get on here. Would you start Jerry Jeudy over Michael Pittman Jr. this week then?
I would. The problem is I freaking hate Deshaun Watson. I just called him a bum for a minute.
I do too. I know.
He's going up against the Giants defense, though, and I could see Jeudy popping. That's an example of, if you told me next week Jerry Jeudy had a 65-yard catch and run for a touchdown, I'd be like, oh yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. I could see that, but let's put it this way. Pittman's the safer play in terms of, I like Richardson more, but they're both high risk at this point. If they're both high risk, I guess I'd go Jeudy, because at least if he gets a catch, it probably is a big play with his speed.
Okay.
I'm so disappointed in Pittman, man. Michael Pittman Jr.
I know.
And again, it's not that the Browns are week one, the Colts, Texans are a good defense, Packers are a good defense, but Michael Pittman Jr., you're at that point in your career where you need to be entering the prime. I look at Nico Collins. Nico Collins has entered that era where it's like, oh, that dude's the next guy. He is the next one. Michael Pittman Jr., we're waiting, dog. We're waiting on you. When you want to show up, it's up to you.
Yep, agreed. All right, dude. I appreciate it as always. Thank you.
Be good, Austin. You have a nice night. Let's get to our next caller on the line. Let's go to Owen. Owen's going to be our next caller. Let's see what Owen wants to talk about. Owen, what's good?
Who would you try to get for Christian McCaffrey?
I'm trading him?
Yes.
Well, I don't think he's got a lot of value right now, so I think that you could go one of two directions. You could trade him for other injured players. You could trade him for a Pacheco, or you could trade him for a Puka Nacua and almost trade him for someone you think comes back later, because it's then trading a damaged asset for a damaged asset, and maybe the other owner would be more willing to do that. I think right now the problem is, if you trade him, you're running a massive risk. You're trading something that's not going to get a lot of return. If you're asking for healthy players back, you're not going to get a lot of great return. Maybe you'll get like a Tony Pollard. That kind of like, maybe that's the...
Do you think if I could get a Jahmyr Gibbs or a running back of that...
If someone gave you Jahmyr Gibbs for Christian McCaffrey right now, I would want even half of a hit of what they're smoking, because that would knock me the fuck out. Because like, that's way too big an overreaction. Like, again, right now, what's Christian McCaffrey's value to me? It's almost in the Brian Robinson, Devin Singletary range. And the only reason for that is because he's going to miss at least a month, if not more. So 6 weeks remaining of the year, he has no value. So Brian Robinson Jr. and Devin Singletary, if they play the full season, their full season value versus McCaffrey's like half season value might be about the same. If you're in a league where you can stash McCaffrey on the IR and you can take him off your roster and put him on the IR, I would do that. And I'd hold on to him. And the only reason I'm willing to be that patient with him is because when he is healthy and plays behind that offensive line, he scores a touchdown every single week. Like, literally every single week. So I'm willing to hold on faith to him rather than some other players. But I know it's a tough spot, Owen.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Appreciate the call. Hope you have a great night.
You too.
Let's get our next caller on the line. Quishine, I believe is how I pronounce this one. A Cowboys fan, so he must be having a bad Monday. Quishine, what's good?
Nah, yeah, you guessed it, man. So I decided that I'm kind of like out on Amari Cooper.
Yeah.
And I just traded him straight up, like in the middle of the day yesterday. Traded him straight up for Christian Kirk. You think that was okay trade?
Yes, I actually think that was a good trade. I have no problem with it. Funny that they were playing against each other yesterday while you made that trade.
And neither one of them did much of anything, but I just feel like Christian Kirk's upside a little better.
That's exactly what I'm thinking. Do I think Amari Cooper can resurrect his season? Yes, but I have more faith in Trevor Lawrence figuring it out and the Jaguars' offense figuring it out, and thus Christian Kirk having a rebound mid-season than the Browns and Deshaun Watson and Amari Cooper. So I think it was a good trade, actually.
And do you happen to have any, like, insight on, because I think that I have Kenneth Walker in one of my leagues. You think due to his, repeated history of injuries, you think I should hold on to him or try to find something for him?
I would hold on to him because I think when he does play, he's got real value. And again, I'm going to kind of repeat myself from a moment ago. It's so hard to find running backs right now. So it might seem like, I'm willing to move on from this guy. He's not quite delivering like I want him to at the running back position. That's a mistake. I'm willing to give my running backs like a second, a third, a fourth, a fifth chance, where wide receivers, I'll move on from them faster. I liked how you moved on from Amari Cooper. I'd hold on to Kenneth Walker.
Okay, yeah, I'm going to just stick Alexander Madison in there because he has a touchdown in the last 2 weeks, so kind of just keep him in there until Walker gets
No, he's been a nice surprise for the Raiders and a nice surprise for fantasy owners, and you're going to be really happy because guess who he plays next week? Carolina Panthers. So you're in the maid right there. So yeah, Madison's actually someone that people should be thinking about picking up on the waiver wire. Thanks for bringing him up. Because Madison, he's delivered his first 2 weeks, and he's got a really favorable matchup against one of the worst run defenses in football. So Alexander Madison, that's actually got someone we should all be targeting.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Have a good one.
You have a good one. I'm glad we actually had one come up. So for anyone looking for a running back off the waiver wire, Alexander Madison, the president. I'm joking, obviously, because Alexander Hamilton was never president. Alexander Madison is nothing but a running back, but he's a good waiver wire pickup. Let's go to DJ Escrow. Let's see what DJ Escrow has for us today. DJ, what's good?
Hey, can you hear me?
I can.
Okay, cool. Love your show.
Thanks,
love
man.
Everything you do, bro. You're a beast, and I rock with you. And
Thanks, man. Appreciate you.
All the best with everything. Real quick question. So, I got T.J. Hawkinson on the IR. I got Isaiah Pacheco that just got hurt.
Yep.
So I'm trying to figure out, should I drop T.J.
Yep.
and put Pacheco there?
Yep. And the reason I say that, now here's the one caveat of that. The Vikings offense all of a sudden looks good, so maybe T.J. Hawkinson comes back and performs better than I expect. But this is an easy one for me. If you gave me 2 lottery tickets and you said one was for a running back and one was for a tight end, I'd take the running back every single time. They just have more value. The opportunity there, they both have risk to them. I'd still take Pacheco. By the way, Pacheco has a broken bone. He's going to heal. He'll come back. He'll be about the same player. T.J. Hawkinson's coming off a devastating knee injury. Even if he comes back to play, is he going to be himself right away? That's just kind of a side thought, but there is a big difference in the injuries. A broken bone, you should be about the same when you come back. Bones heal. Blowing out your knee, damn, dude, like, that may take a little bit of time for you to be normal on a football field. So I'd go Pacheco and I'd drop Hawkinson.
I agree. Okay, one last thing, and that's it. So on that same tight end spectrum, I got Kyle Pitts right now. He's going to start tonight. So, I mean, whatever happens, I don't really expect much, but we'll see.
We'll see.
And then I'm eyeing Hunter Henry. He just had a really big game.
He had a monster game. Yep.
Swap those out.
Okay, couple of thoughts here. One, I love the idea of Hunter Henry because that offense is a nothing burger. So it makes sense that their offense is around Ramondre Stevenson running and then out of play action, they go to the tight end and Hunter Henry. So I do like him as a second tight end. I think it's a really good idea. But they also run into some tough defenses. The Patriots play the Jets next week, the 49ers after that, the Dolphins, and then the Texans. Maybe you don't think the Jets are that good. Maybe you don't think the 49ers are that good defensively. I do. So I don't think Hunter Henry is going to be a great play the next 2 weeks. But I think he could be a good own season long. That said, like Kyle Pitts against the Chiefs or Hunter Henry against the Jets. I don't know.
Okay.
You get what?
Yeah.
Here's what I would say. If it's a PPR league, Hunter Henry's a pretty good player to own, actually, because he's just going to get a lot of catches, even if it's for 5 yards. So Kyle Pitts will probably get the bigger chunk plays, the 26, 30-yard catch. But Hunter Henry's going to get a lot of, like, dink and dunk catches. So if you're in a PPR, Hunter Henry actually has more value than at first blush.
So that's what I'm going to do. I'm definitely going to do that. I appreciate you, sir. Be well, and much luck to you with any of your bets today, all right?
DJ Escrow, I so appreciate the kind words. Appreciate you watching. We'll talk again soon.
Yep, thank you.
Let's get to our next caller. Let's go to Max. Max is going to be next on the line. Let's see what Max wants to talk about. Max, what's good?
Hello.
How you living, Max?
I'm good. What about you?
Oh, couldn't be better. How can I help you?
So I got a trade on the table. I'm receiving Laporta, Josh Allen, Amari Cooper, and Wan'Dale Robinson, and I'm giving up JSN, Baker, and Goddard.
I'm sorry. I must be confusing something. It sounds like you were totally winning that trade. Can you just repeat that? I just want to make sure I heard that correct.
Yes. So I'm getting Laporta, Josh Allen, Amari Cooper, and Wan'Dale Robinson, and I'm giving up JSN, Baker, and Goddard.
I understand Baker's had a really good first 2 weeks. I understand JSN had a really good week too. Max, you win that trade. Make that deal, buddy. Make that deal. Right. Sam Laporta is going to bounce back. Josh Allen is going to probably have a better season than Baker rest of season. Right. I would do that trade, yes.
Perfect. That's all I need to know. Thank you very much.
See you, Max. Have a good one. Man, that almost sounded too good to be true, but I know there's some reasons that it's not. There are some traps there. Let's go to our next caller. Next on the line is going to be... Getting spinning wheel of death right now. I thought it was Patty. Patty, I'm getting spinning wheel of death, so call us back. I think you got a bad connection, so call us back, okay, bud? Let's go to Tyrone. Tyrone, what's good?
Hey, what's up, bro?
What's happening?
So basically, I got Michael Pittman, and I don't like him at all.
Yeah, I understand why.
Yeah, I was thinking of trading him for Khalil Shakir, because one of my friends said that he was down to do that trade. But I'm not sure.
I don't hate it. I don't love it, but I don't hate it. Unfortunately, I think it's probably a more fair trade than I want it to be. I like Michael Pittman more. And at first, when I first hear it, I go, man, I kind of want more than just Shakir. I want Shakir plus someone else. But right now, I feel like Pittman and Shakir are almost at equal value. And that's a little concerning for Pittman owners. So maybe I'd do the trade. I don't love it. But right now, I think Shakir is wide receiver 1 on the Bills. And I trust Josh Allen more than I trust Anthony Richardson. I hate it, but I might take the Shakir side. I'm on the fence, but I understand why you're thinking about that deal, yeah.
All right, sounds good. And I was wondering, like, so Puka's hurt, and is Cooper Kupp going to be out for the next game, too? Because I have Robinson. I picked him up from the waiver wire.
I think absolutely Robinson is a good own right now, whether Kupp plays or not. The only problem is they play the 49ers, and you just assume that 49ers defense, especially coming off a loss, is going to be playing its best. But I think Robinson's a very good own. Whether you start him in the flex or start him at a wide receiver too, we'll have to determine that as the week goes along and we learn more about Kupp's status. But it's a good player to own. Good job getting him.
All right, thank you. I'm not too worried about my wide receivers because I have Monra and Chris Godwin.
Oh, you're in good shape then. Then he might end up being your flex. Again, it might be a good flex play. We'll just have to see how the injury report shakes out.
All right, thank you.
Have a good one, Tyrone. Let's see if Patty can connect. Patty, I'm going to give you another chance because I felt bad you couldn't connect last time. See if Patty can connect this time. Patty, what's good?
What's up?
How can I help you, Patty?
So I have a trade.
Sure.
And it's, I get Lamar, Jonathan Taylor, and Montgomery, and he gets Josh Allen, Nick Chubb, Jalen Waddle, and Drake London.
Do that trade.
Okay, thanks.
Have a great day, Patty. Let's go to our next caller. Let's go to Cyrus M. Cyrus M is going to be next on the line. Let's see what Cyrus wants to talk about. Cyrus, what's good? I can hear you.
Sweet. All right. So recently I just traded away Terry McLaurin for Amari Cooper. And I just got another trade because Isaiah Pacheco just went onto the waiver wire.
Yep.
And he offered me, what was it, Terry McLaurin and DeAndre Swift for Isaiah Pacheco. And I'm 0-2 right now, so I can't really afford a loss.
Wait, you want to trade McLaurin and who?
No, so I have Isaiah Pacheco, and I'm trading away Isaiah Pacheco for Terry McLaurin and DeAndre Swift. What do you think?
Yeah. I don't understand.
Yeah, do that?
I don't understand. Why? Yeah, of course I do that trade. Am I being punked? Like, of course I do that trade.
No, yeah, for an IR, because Pacheco's on IR.
He's going to be out for at least 4 weeks, if not longer. Like, of course I'll take 2 players who have value compared to 1 player who has no value. Like, yeah, of course I'll do that.
Yeah, I thought I was tripping.
Like, I was about to say, like, I'm sorry, I don't quite understand what the question is. Like, yeah, of course I do that, for sure.
All right, sweet, thank you.
Be good, Cyrus. We'll talk again soon. Let's go to S.O. S.O. is going to be next on the line. Let's see if S.O. is someone good for us. S.O., what's good?
Hello.
What's happening?
So I got the struggle. Right now, I have both Pacheco and Cup in my 12-man.
Yikes.
And till then, my team was pretty good. I had Murray at the quarterback with Jacobs and Pacheco, Cup, Wilson, Kittle, and then I had Jordan Mason.
Mm-hmm.
Should I panic on Cup and Pacheco? Because they both are like going to be out for the same amount of weeks, and obviously I can probably play Mason till like a week before because McCaffrey's going to be out for a while.
Yep.
But in a sense, I don't really know what to do with like the flex spot, or like if I should just trade Cooper Kupp.
Well, I don't know how much value they have right now, so I don't even know what you're getting back. I think you're more looking on the waiver wire.
So I think I should just keep him, and then because like right now I'm 2-0, so I'm not like the most worried person in the world.
I feel like that's how you should treat it. Like, let's put it this way: if you trade him now, you might get a couple of bridge players, but you'll probably get the same quality of bridge player off the waiver wire. Yeah. Meanwhile, when he comes back, if he has any value, you're kicking yourself for giving up a wide receiver 1 in critical weeks, like playoff time. So I'd probably hold on to him, especially given you're in a 2-0 situation and you're not in that, like, I have to do something now to save my season. Go to the waiver wire, try to find some solutions. If you end up going 2-2 over the next 2 weeks, okay, maybe you reevaluate, because, again, his value by that time comes up because he's 2 weeks closer to returning, so...
And then, who do I pick up for the Chiefs running backs? They're both there with Steele and
Samaje P. Ryan. I think Steele is the most overrated thing in the NFL right now. If this dude didn't look like he looks, we wouldn't be talking about this kid at all, because he's not that good. He can't hold on to the football. I think Samaje P. Ryan's going to earn that number 1 spot, because I think the novelty is going to wear off this kid when they realize he fumbles like every 5th carry.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, man.
Have a good one, S.O.
You too.
Let's get our next caller up on the line. Let's go to Pablito. Let's see what Pablito's talking about. Que pasa, Pablito?
Hey, how you doing?
Loving life. How can I help you?
All right, man. I got a couple questions here for you. So I had Tua. I dropped him. I still have Waddle.
I'm okay holding on to him. I'm okay holding on to Waddle.
Holding Waddle. I do need a drop. I need a drop of wide receiver so I can get a QB. right now. I have 2 QBs right now. I need a third one just to keep him on my bench. I'm kind of leaning towards Sam Darnold. It's between Sam and Anthony Richardson. And I'm not quite sure which one.
By the way, I just want to acknowledge, for everyone listening, Pablito, you included, if I told you 4 weeks ago that we'd be going, okay, I got a decision to make, Anthony Richardson or Sam Darnold, we'd all be looking at ourselves going, what the hell just happened over the first few weeks of the NFL season? But that is a legitimate question now. So anyways, okay, Anthony Richardson or Sam Darnold. I just feel like Sam Darnold's going to come back down to earth. He's playing the Texans this week. Anthony Richardson, he's going up against the Chicago Bears. I think given their value, I'll say Anthony Richardson just barely, because I still like his ability to run, and I think that makes a difference, but the fact that it's close is scary.
Wow, yeah. No, yeah, he's ran the ball in a couple times, so, yeah, I was debating on that. I do need to drop a running back, I believe, as well. Lost my train of thought there.
Okay. Well, get your train of thought back, and we'll pick it up with you.
That's good. I appreciate it.
Okay, well, we'll talk again soon, Pablito. I'm glad he caught himself knowing that there are other people on the line. Let's go to Ross Alex. Let's see what Ross Alex wants to talk about. Ross Alex next on the line. What's good?
Hey, man, how's it going?
Love and life. How can I help you?
Would you mind to rate my trade?
Go for it.
I traded Stroud, Dobbins, and Dell in exchange for Mahomes, Brian Thomas Jr., and Garrett Wilson.
I like the trade. You won it.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you.
All right, man. You have a nice night.
You too.
Let's get our next caller. Why, by the way, did he win the trade? Because he gave up 2 players on the same team. He diversified the lineup. He bought low on Wilson. I'm high on Brian Thomas Jr. And I think Stroud and Mahomes will actually end up having similar value season long. Let's go to Tom Algier. Tom Algier is going to be next on the line. See what Tom wants to talk about. Tom, what's good?
Hey, man, can you hear me?
I can. How can I help you?
Word. All right. Should I trade J.K. Dobbins, Calvin Ridley, and Kenneth Walker for DJ Moore and
You cut out, Tom. What was it?
Kenneth Walker, Calvin Ridley, and J.K. Dobbins for DJ Moore and a chain.
DJ Moore and Achan are the players you get, and you're giving up J.K. Dobbins,
Ridley, and Kenneth Walker.
I wouldn't do the trade. I know it sounds like a good deal. I like more than I like Ridley, but right now, I'd rather have the 2 running backs than the 1.
All right. Sounds good.
Be good, Tom.
All right, man.
Let's go to our next caller. Let's go to Aaron Medley. Aaron's going to be next caller up on the line. Appreciate everyone being with us. Let's see what Aaron wants to talk about. Aaron, what's good?
So I feel like I got a bit of a predicament, although it's not a bad predicament. In my wide receiver room, I have Devontae Smith, Rashee Rice, and Marvin Harrison Jr. My running back room, I have Kyron Williams, Saquon Barkley, and Jonathan Taylor. So I have
great team, yeah, good team.
Which leaves one of the receivers out.
Yeah, and I think you're in a great spot. I wouldn't make a trade. I wouldn't do anything. Aaron, you've got a playoff team. Don't tinker with it too much. It's about setting the lineup week to week that works for you, but this is a really good team.
All right, in my tight end room, I have Brock Bowers and the dang, I forgot his name. He's the kid from the Cardinals.
Trey McBride. This is a loaded team, man. Aaron, this is a loaded team. This team's going to win a championship if you manage it correctly week to week. I'm going to let you go because you're a little slow on the come up, but that's a loaded team. I think you're in a great spot. Let's go to our next caller. Next caller is going to be Spencer. Let's see what Spencer wants to talk about. Spencer, what's good? Spencer, you're off TikTok, so I can't hear you, but you got to stay on TikTok for me to hear you.
Yeah, how's it going?
What's good, Spence?
So, little bit of a question. So, for my receivers, I got Justin Jefferson, DK Metcalf, and Chris Godwin right now as in the flex.
Nice.
But I'm short on running backs. I have David Montgomery and Devin Singletary, who have been solid so far, but not great. But then I have Travis Kelce at tight end. Should I panic on Kelce, or should I take him and bundle him with Alec Pierce, who's on my bench, and try to trade for like a running back and a not as good tight end?
I'm not panicking on Kelce. I'm just not going to do it. With no Pacheco, I think his value goes up because I think the Chiefs' offense has to get. He becomes even more important in the red zone. I think that's actually where he has value everywhere. So I'm not going to give up on Kelce. I understand you want to get another running back. I'd love to flip Pierce for somebody, but I'm not moving on from Kelce right now.
Gotcha. And I also put a waiver in for Samaje Perine just to see if that.
Yeah, I think that's a great move. Frankly, if you got him, that would be the kind of move that would be the equivalent of the trade you're trying to land.
Gotcha. Sounds good. Thank you so much.
Be good, Spencer. Let's go to our next caller. Let's go to L. Andrews. L. Andrews is going to be next on the line. See what L. Andrews wants to talk about. What's good?
Hey, man. How you doing?
Loving life. How can I help you?
All right. So I'll preface this with saying I'm in a 14-man league, and the waiver wire is pretty dry.
Yeah, I bet.
I have Pacheco, and he's going to be out for a while. And then I got Rico Dowdle, Zamir White, and Justice Hill on the bench.
Wow. King of the backup running backs over here.
I know. Should I try to make a trade, or do you think I could just stream with those guys until he's back?
Oof. I mean, you could try. I don't think you're going to win too many games. Alexander, we were talking about it earlier. Alexander Madison all of a sudden's got a ton of value over there in Las Vegas. I don't know if that's eating into your Zamir White value enough, but I wouldn't want to play both of them. But if you can get the number one running back on that team, it might be worth it to you. I would also be looking into Samaje Perine, obviously, but
yeah, I think I could probably pick him up.
I mean, I think that's what you're going to end up doing. I don't think you're going to in a 14-man league. My concern in a 14-man league is you have to give up so much to get a good running back that it almost makes it impossible to almost like overcome the loss that you just gave up. Like the running back you acquire fills a hole, but you just gave up, a wide receiver. You gave up too many pieces because it's already so thin. I don't know. It's a tough spot. If there are any owners, are you deep at any position? Like, are you deep at wide receiver?
Yeah, I got JSN and Khalil Shakur kind of on my flex.
I would probably trade JSN. Not that I don't like him, but he just had a monster game, so his value's high. Maybe you could get something for him now, so he'd be the player I'd flip.
All right, yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking too.
Awesome.
All right, thanks, man.
Be good. Have a great night. Let's get to Hoeing. Let's see what Hoeing wants to talk about. Hoeing Fitness is going to be next on the line. Hoeing, what's good?
Oh, I'm not doing too bad. How are you doing?
Loving life. Oh, someone's not having a good day.
Hey, I had a question for you. So I'm in a 2 flex and an extra offensive player league. I had Tua, and obviously we know how that went. I did pick up Carr Thursday night, but of course I already had my lineup set. I didn't want to take the chance on playing Carr with the lineup I already had.
Yeah.
What do you think? I got an offer today, and I don't know. I wanted to see what you thought, but obviously it's better to play another quarterback in the OP if you can. I do have a guy that sent me a trade today, Josh Allen for J.K. Dobbins.
You're getting Josh Allen?
Yes, I would be getting Josh Allen. But I'm pretty thin at the running back if I lose him.
Oh, then I wouldn't. If it makes you thin at running back, I wouldn't take the risk of it.
I've got 3 running backs on my. He was in my OP last week, so I have Stevenson and Gibbs.
Yeah, but I don't want to give up the depth. I'm not willing to do that. Again, I bet I can find a quarterback every week who will surprise people and perform well, like a Sam Darnold, like a Derek Carr. I know you just got him, but you get my point. Like, every week there's going to be one quarterback, like Geno Smith yesterday. There's going to be one quarterback who performs better than we expect. Good luck finding that at running back, okay? So, keep waiting.
I got Dowdle, Spears, and...
Yikes. No, we are not giving up J.K. Dobbins. No.
Okay. What would you say the same thing if it was for Jackson?
Jackson? Which Jackson?
Lamar.
If you're acquiring Lamar?
Yeah, the guy offered me one or the other.
No. The answer is, I understand what you're talking about. I understand that quarterback is a more valuable position than that extra offensive player. But if you have a running back problem, who cares if you have two good starting quarterbacks at that spot? I can fix your quarterback problem every week by finding someone on the waiver wire. Running back's harder. I wouldn't do it.
Okay. Thank you, man.
Have a good one. Good luck with that crying kid. Never an easy one. I know that as an uncle. Let's go to Ricky. Ricky's going to be next on the line. See what Ricky wants to talk about. Ricky, what's good?
Hey, how you doing, man?
Loving life. How can I help you?
Terry McLaurin was supposed to be my go-to guy in the flex.
Yeah, how's that going? Yeah.
Not good. Not good. Do you think his value's gone down after getting his best matchup last week? Or?
I'm really disappointed. So on one level, he cashed a bet for me yesterday because I thought he'd go over 4.5 receptions. Yay for me. At the same time, he had, 50 yards? So
I added yards.
Yeah, what the hell? So great he's catching the ball, but if he's not catching it down the field, his value isn't what it's supposed to be. I'm still not ready to completely throw him out. Whenever we have a wide receiver who's paired with a young quarterback, we just need to give it a little bit of extra time because that quarterback, much like Caleb Williams last night or Jaden Daniels, they're figuring this out. Now, if this was Bo Nix and the Denver Broncos, I'd be like, you're screwed. But Jaden Daniels is talented. He's shown flashes. I think he's just figuring it out. They still have some cupcakes on their schedule. They play the Giants again. They play Carolina in Week 7. They have some teams. They have some tough matchups and they have some favorable ones. All things considered, I wouldn't move on from him. If he ends up just being a flex play, all right. I bet there's still some value there.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Appreciate it, man.
Be good, Ricky. Have a good one. Let's go to Spencer. Let's see what Spencer wants to talk about. Different Spencer. Spencer 331. What's good, Spencer?
Hey, how you doing, bud?
Loving life. How can I help you?
Hey, what's up with the tight ends so far in the last couple of weeks? I mean, Kelsey's gotten one reception last week, and I'm a little concerned.
And Sam Laporta disappointed, and no, it's a real thing. Couple of things about it, though. Couple of things. One, touchdown passes are down across the board. Down across the board. This is as low as it's been in a while. That tells me, one, that teams are running the ball more, and two, defenses are playing better. Defenses playing better, not a surprise, because without preseason, you're not surprised that weeks 1 and 2 become surrogate preseason games in some way. So, makes sense. The running back thing doesn't surprise me either, because we shifted to such it's all about spread, speed offenses. Well, if I can power punch you in the nose over the center or over the guard, well, guess who's going to win? It's the guy who can run over you. So I'm not shocked by it, which means tight ends, they're being used more as blockers than they are as catchers. Do I think that...
Should I hang on to Kelsey for one more week, or...
I am not moving on from Kelsey, and I'm going to give you 3 reasons why. 3 reasons. 1, the Ravens and the Bengals know the Chiefs really well, so they know how to take away Kelsey. I'm going to just acknowledge that those 2 teams, that might not be the best matchup for him anyways. Reason 2, Pacheco being out means Kelsey's value goes up. Okay? And number 3, until Travis Kelce is one of the few players in this league that I just trust. Where it's okay, he could have a bad 2 weeks and I'm not going to panic because he is a Hall of Famer, because he has chemistry with Mahomes. He doesn't have a major injury. I'm just going to give him more leeway. So 3 reasons why I'd keep Kelsey, and I'm not panicking yet.
And he's not that old yet either, is he?
For tight end, he's let's put it this way. He's probably in the final 2 years of his career, 3 years of his career.
Right, so you're saying hang on to Kelsey for right now.
100%. Do I think Travis Kelsey, from this point on, could end up being a top 5 tight end in fantasy? Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
By the way, one last thought. The fact that the position as a whole is down means that I have less panic about Kelsey. If, like, tight ends were catching touchdowns everywhere else but Travis Kelsey, maybe I'd be a little bit more panicked. That's not happening.
Yeah, but it seems to be across the board.
Across the board. Almost as if defensive coordinator said, hey, a lot of talented tight ends out there. Let's make sure we cover that position.
Right. I mean, so hang on to him, basically, is what you're saying.
100%.
All right, cool, man. That's all I needed to know.
Spencer, you have a nice night. Enjoy Monday Night Football. Let's get to our next caller. Llewellyn? Llewellyn's going to be our next on the line. Let's see if we have something good from Llewellyn. What's good?
How you doing, man?
Loving life.
So my team's pretty good. I got five guys pretty solidified. I got Kamara, I got Saquon, Gibbs, Waddle, and Rashee Rice. So I relied on Tua and Caleb as my quarterback spots. So I was wondering, what do you think? I mean, do you think Derek Carr long term, or Baker as a long term play? And then I also got Evan Ingram on that tight end, who's been disappointing.
So you're asking between Baker and Derek Carr, who do I trust more?
Yeah.
Just getting a quick look at their schedules, it probably is going to end up being Baker. It's very, very close, but I'm going to lean towards Baker. I'm not necessarily saying next week or in the next couple of weeks. I still think Carr probably has a little bit more value for the next couple of weeks. But that said, I think season long, it's probably Baker. If I have my Derek Carr cycle correct, we are in the stage where Derek Carr looks like a Pro Bowler. That happens, actually. There are times in the past where it's like, oh, Derek Carr looks amazing. Then he gets, then he plays a little poorly. Then he has an injury. Then he comes back from injury too soon and he plays like shit. Then we think he's a dog. Then the cycle starts again. So I think we're kind of in the stage where he looks good and he's surprising some people, but I don't think that's going to last. I trust Baker a whole lot more.
Okay, and I also ask about Carson Steele. What do you think about what's going on with the Chiefs? Because I play with 2 flex, and I could use that second flex spot as a really nice running back or whoever.
What are you asking about, the Chiefs running back?
Yeah.
Well, I think it's going to be Samaje Perine. I think Samaje Perine, just because he's next man up. I know they're looking at Kareem Hunt, but I'll go with Perine for the moment.
Okay, thank you, man.
You have a nice evening. Let's get to our next caller. Let's go to JP. Let's see what JP wants to talk about. A lot of callers today. Oh, JP dropped on us. Okay, JP. Didn't want to talk to you anyways, JP. It's all good. Let's go to Kyle B6. Kyle B6 is a loyal subscriber. Kyle, what's good?
Hey, man. How are you?
Loving life. How can I help you?
2 quick questions for you. Number 1 is from the quarterback piece. Like, I have Jordan Love, I had Stafford, now we got all these injuries with the Rams. Do I go after like a Carr or a Donald just for, until Love gets back, or do I ride it out with Stafford in the meantime?
No, I'd move on from Stafford. He's playing the 49ers this week, and he's got, no Puka Nacua and no Cooper Kupp. Yikes. Yeah, I wouldn't play Matthew Stafford next week. That could be an ugly one.
And then, so I guess it's actually 2 more questions. So I made a trade this morning. I traded Mark Andrews away and got Javonte Williams and Travis Kelce.
Yeah, I like that trade.
And then my next question for the last one would be, I have Amari Cooper at wide receiver 2, a pretty deep league. So I'm struggling there. I got Marvin Harrison at 1. But I've got Singletary, CMC, Jordan Mason, Javonte Williams, and Rachaad White. Would you walk away from Singletary or Rachaad White and just look for a good wide receiver 2 at this point?
Yep. And I would probably, or you could pair him and try to with Amari Cooper and upgrade a wide receiver. You have a couple options. But yes, I'd look to make a trade. Take one of those running backs you don't need. Take Amari Cooper, package them together, see if you can upgrade a position.
Okay, appreciate it, man.
Have a good one, Kyle. Let's get to our next one. Let's go to Just Clipped. Let's see what Just Clipped wants to talk about. Just Clipped, what's good?
Hey, what's up, buddy? How you doing?
Loving life. How can I help you?
Hey, man, I could really use your help. So I'm in a little bit of a predicament. So I just had Pacheco. He obviously got injured. My other running back is Travis Etienne. I'm in a 10-man with 2 flex and a tight end, obviously. My tight end is Evan Ingram. So I'm in a little bit of predicament now because I'm 0-2 in my 10-man.
Yep.
My quarterbacks, Anthony Richardson. My wide receivers are Olave and St. Brown. And my flex is James Cook. And it was Terry McLaurin, but I subbed in Charbonnet yesterday since Kenneth Walker's out. So now I'm a little bit in a predicament because I don't really have that crazy of a bench. I have Zamir White, obviously Terry McLaurin I put on the bench, Joshua Palmer, Brandon Cooks. So I just want to kind of get an insight what I should do or who I should maybe pick up on waiver or maybe trade away Pacheco to see what I could try to get.
I mean, you're in a tough spot. This team's falling apart all over the place, and you didn't have a ton of talent to begin with. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like you need to pick up some pieces off the waiver wire and hope that they hit, but Anthony Richardson is letting you down. Terry McLaurin's letting you down. St. Brown had a good week too, but that week 1 probably hurt you as well. So you're just having a tough time. I don't know if I have a really good answer for you, Just Clipped. I think it's probably going to take a little bit more work than we can talk through now, but I would throw all ideas at the wall right now because you are in desperation time.
Okay. So, and you would pick up Pirine instead of Steele?
100%.
Okay, cool. Thanks, man.
Be good. Let's go to our next caller. Let's go to Riley. Let's see what Riley wants to talk about. Riley will be next on the line. Riley, what's good?
Hey, how's it going?
You got to stay on TikTok, bud. When you go off TikTok, you mute yourself, so I can't hear you. Okay. So Riley will figure it out, though. Let's go to CJ. Let's see what CJ wants to talk about. Oh, CJ dropped as well. Back-to-back drops? No way. Let's go to Use67. Let's see what Use67 wants to talk about. Use, what's good?
What's up?
How can I help you?
I got a few questions on my fantasy team.
Fire away.
So I lost Christian McCaffrey and I didn't have a running back too. So I had to make a trade and I got Joe Mixon, just straight up because I didn't know what to do.
Yeah. I mean
How do you think about that?
What was the trade?
It was just Christian McCaffrey for Joe Mixon because nobody else wanted him in the league and I didn't have.
I think it's a good trade because McCaffrey is going to be out for at least a month. I actually think it's a good trade, even though Mixon's injury is concerning.
Yeah. All right. And then, do you think Mike Evans I should keep just because? I have DJ Moore and DK, and I was thinking about trading for.
Yes, keep Mike Evans.
All right, and then do you think I should keep what's his name? Do you think I should keep DJ Moore and DK Metcalf?
Are you asking? Do I think you need to upgrade a running back?
No, just saying
I like your 3 wide receivers. I wouldn't trade them because I think one's going to be your flex every week. I like the 3 wide receivers. I'd hold on to them.
All right, just because DJ Moore, he hasn't been performing that much.
Yeah, Caleb Williams is disappointed. I'm gonna believe in DJ Moore though. I'll hold on to him a little bit longer. I'm not gonna move on just yet.
All right, thank you.
Have a good one, man.
You too.
Let's get to our next caller. Okay, let's go to David. Let's see if David wants to jump on now. David, what's good?
Hi, man. I was on here earlier talking about Tank Dell.
Yep.
You asked about my other wide receivers. So it's Rashee Rice and Deebo Samuel. So I have a little more depth there than I was thinking.
Yeah.
Do you think I should hold on to the running backs I have and play them at flex instead of Tank Dell and George Pickens and run 4 running backs?
Frankly, I feel like you're deep enough at wide receiver right now where I'd be willing to trade Dell. Because Pickens is your 3rd wide receiver and not your 2nd wide receiver, that means Dell is tradable.
Okay. And then because we have 2 flex, do you think right now, since just passing is down as a whole, that I should be playing 2 running backs in the flex and have 4? Because I have J.K. Dobbins, and Brian Robinson and Tony Pollard.
Yeah, I would only probably play 2 of the 3.
Okay. And the 2 would be Brian Robinson and J.K.
It depends on the matchup. I haven't looked enough at week 3 to give you the answer on that. You're going to have to join our show later in the week. A bit of a teaser there. But what I would say is your wide receivers are better than your running backs, so it would be the wide receiver who ends up being the flex.
Okay. Thank you.
Have a good one. Let's go to JP. Let's see what JP wants. Oh, actually, I think I hit the wrong one. CJ. What's good, CJ?
How you doing?
How can I help you?
So, all right, long story short, I'm having to look real deep into waivers for quarterbacks in the next few weeks until Love comes back. I'm looking at – I need some real help here because these are all really bad options. But if you could help me out here, I'd appreciate it. We got Deshaun Watson, Daniel Jones, Malik Willis, Jacoby Brissett, Will Levis, and Bo Nix.
Is this a real thing? Are you playing me right now? Is this a prank?
Well, okay, here's the thing. Our league is a 2 QB starting league, and we have 10 people.
No. I'm sure there was some reason why this was the the exercise that it was. Jesus.
I'll say this too. I had Baker Mayfield, but one of my buddies offered me Baker for Jalen Waddle straight up, and I was like,
yeah, I understand. So who are? Wait, give me the usual suspects, including Kaiser Sose on this one. Who are they again?
Deshaun Watson, Daniel Jones.
Oh, go slow. Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
Daniel Jones.
Malik Willis.
Yeah.
Jacoby Brissett.
Yeah.
Will Levis.
Yeah.
And Bo Nix.
Okay, I'm gonna shock you. You ready to be shocked?
I'm ready.
It's Deshaun Watson. It's Deshaun Watson next week. Deshaun Watson is playing the Giants next week.
Mm-hmm.
It's the only reason why. I've seen the Giants play football the last 2 weekends. It's the only reason I'm picking that. I have nothing else to contribute to this conversation other than the Giants suck, so I'll go Deshaun Watson, and I will feel awful about it the whole week. I need a shower right now. That's how bad that was. Okay?
Okay. Well, I appreciate it. Thanks, man.
CJ, you have a good one, man. I need to literally clean myself of that call. Ugh. Anyways, let's go to JP. JP's our last caller who's been waiting patiently. JP, what's good?
Hey, how's it going?
Love and life. How can I help you?
I apologize about earlier. I have no clue what happened, why it bounced me out like that. But
don't sweat it. I don't take it personally.
So I'm in a bit of a pickle here with all this. I just recently hearing that Cup is not going to go on the IR, and I have McCaffrey on my team. Do I try to sell those 2 now? Or do I try to send a text out saying I'm up for offers for McCaffrey or Cup, or what do I do here?
I don't want to be too non-politically correct, JP, but I don't advocate for anybody ever saying I'm in a vulnerable position. People, take advantage of me. People, I'm in a vulnerable position. Please, come over and take advantage of me. If you want to move on from these players, don't send out a blast email, an email blast to all the other owners saying, I'm looking to make a deal. That reeks of desperation. And thus, they are going to lowball you. They'll take advantage of you. You're not going to get what you want anyways. I would try to identify some players you really want and then, work a trade, but I would do it kind of more low-key than what you're suggesting. I'm also, you're trading 2 assets that have no value, no current value. It's all future value. So you're probably not going to get a lot back right now. I'm willing to be patient on Cooper Kupp and on Christian McCaffrey just because I know what they are when they're healthy. They are the number 1 player on their team offensively. So I'm willing to be more patient with them. If you are in a desperate position, if you're 0-2, or if you need to go do something,
I'm 2 now. I mean, I'm in a good spot. I mean, it's a 2 quarterback.
Then I'd be more patient. If you're okay, it's kind of like an actual football team. If you have a player, think of the 49ers. Think of the 49ers. Right now, the 49ers are going to treat Christian McCaffrey almost like a player they acquired at the trade deadline, because he's going to come back around that time in the season. Think of McCaffrey, if you keep him on the bench, as almost like a player you acquired in a trade in 6 weeks. So make the most of now, but I wouldn't move on from him too quick, because when he's healthy, there aren't too many players I'd want over him.
Right. Alrighty, thank you.
Be good, JP. Okay, Philly, it's fitting that our last call of the night is going to be from Philly Sports Highlights, who's getting ready for the Philadelphia Eagles game. Philly Sports, what's good?
So I got a trade offer that was accepted. I just want to see what you think of it.
Sure.
So I'm trading Justin Jefferson, and I'm getting A.J. Brown and Kenneth Walker.
I like the trade. Obviously, I hope A.J. Brown comes back sooner rather than later. But Justin Jefferson left yesterday's game with an injury, so I really like the trade. I think you're getting the better of it.
And also, one more thing. How do you feel in the Cooper Kupp situation?
I think I just saw that he's going to be out longer than I first expected. He's going to be out at least a month, or I'm thinking it's going to be at least a month. I do have some concerns there, but as I just said to the other caller, I probably am more willing to hold on to him and keep him stashed on the bench than give him up, just because unless I'm really lacking a roster spot or a spot to pick up someone, he's just worth holding on to when he does get healthy.
All right, thank you.
Philly Sports, one question for you. What's the final score of tonight's game?
31-21 Eagles.
31-21 Eagles. You heard it here first. I hope that's not the case, though, because I have the under tonight. For those that want my bets every day, DM me on Instagram, ButtFumble Sports. DM me on Instagram to get every bet that I make every day for free. I give up all of my picks for free. And now that I say that, I will let you know the picks I made for tonight. I'm taking Eagles on the money line. I'm taking Eagles minus 2.5, and I'm going under 49.5, okay? So a quick recap. I'm taking Eagles on the money line, Eagles minus 2.5, and I'm taking under 49.5. I did some same game parlays with Eagles money line and that under. That's my pick for the game. If you want to see the player prop bets, my MLB picks, if you want to see every bet I make every single day, DM me on Instagram, ButtFumble Sports. That's my handle on Instagram. DM me. I give away my picks for free every day. So if you want those, hit me up. I'll probably do a subscriber-only show later tonight. So for TikTok subscribers, I will probably do a show tonight. So if you want more fantasy football conversation tonight, make sure you're subscribing on TikTok. TikTok subscribers, we'll probably do that show around 10:30, so make sure you hit that subscriber button, and that way you guys can be a part of that show. Otherwise, I'll catch you guys at 4:30 tomorrow afternoon, 4:30 Tuesday afternoon. That'll be our next show. Until then, enjoy Monday Night Football, everybody. Enjoy the baseball action tonight. Stay healthy, stay safe, and I'll catch you guys either tonight for the subscriber-only show on TikTok or tomorrow across all of our platforms for our 4:30 regular show. Until then, goodbye, everybody.